Hello, 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 everyone. It is a pleasure to be back. Welcome to another episode of Brown King Production. I am Nathaniel Thomas Jr. It is a pleasure to be black. Oh my God. Um, COVID was tough. I'm still dealing with it. My voice is still going in and out, so I'm still dealing with some of the congestion, some breathing issues, because I have pre-existing conditions like asthma and diabetes, so it's taking a little bit longer for me. But I am back at work. I am going back to my daily routines and schedule, but it's taking a little bit longer. My taste buds, they're still gone. So I'm still trying to make it through all of that. So if you guys got any little helpful tips or anything that you guys have utilized during this time frame of having COVID, please let me know. Inbox me, hit me up, let me know. I would try anything at this point. Anything that's healthy. And I know sometimes that when it's tasting bad, it's good for you. So I'm working through all of that stuff. But it is good to be back. And Happy New Year to everyone. I know it's been a minute since I came online and actually did an episode. So happy New Year. I hope everyone is doing well, even though I'm still battling COVID and it's been like a couple weeks. Yeah, a couple weeks. I'm still pushing through. It is, as I always say, I would rather be seen and heard than viewed. It's good to be back. It's really good to be back, and happy 2023 to everyone. And I want to really take the time now to say thank you to all of my amazing viewers. I started this out of a labor of love. This was something that started about 5 or 6 years ago on YouTube, and I'm still on YouTube. You can Google Brown King Production or Nathaniel Thomas Jr. Are just encouraging and uplifting men. You can go back and see all of my past videos and learn a little bit more about myself and learn more about what I've gone through to get me through this point. But I really want to take the time to tell everyone thank you. There's so many podcasts out there that you can be listening to, and the fact that you take the time just to listen to my voice and look at my big head and my full lips and my brown skin, I am truly humble. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And I hope something that I'm saying resonates in you, help you, inspire you, give you a different point of view, and just allow you to get to know a little bit more about myself. I'm not someone to think I know it all. I'm learning as I go. And things that I learned and have seen and have felt and have experienced, I don't have a problem sharing, because I do believe that as you open up yourself to others, it allows people to see that they're not the only ones that are going through something, and to also see that you're human as well. And last time I checked, we all make mistakes. And it's what we do with those mistakes and those life lessons and those learning experiences and those tough moments and those uncomfortable moments, as those shameful moments. What we do with those and how we take that in to our arsenal, into our processing, into our living, is what really makes us amazing. I really do believe that. And I was taught through counseling that when you keep things hidden in your heart, for whatever reason, it only gives the devil, your adversary, power over you to use it later. And I always said, no one can tell my story better than I can. No one. No one. No one was there. No one experienced it. No one got to go through it the way that I did. So who can tell my story better than me? Nobody. Nobody. So it is good to be back. Once again, it is truly good. Everybody is in bed right now. Those of you who have listened to my podcast and my YouTube videos knows that I have insomnia sometimes really bad. When something is on my mind or things are on my mind and I'm working towards something or working through something, I don't sleep well, because it's right up here. I'm thinking about it. I'm working through it. Or I get up and just start writing something. Because I do believe that putting things on paper and sharing things is healing, is a form of healing for you, and getting your story out there. So tonight is one of those nights. Well, I would say this morning is one of those mornings where I kind of tired, long week. I took a nap. When I say a nap, it was like a power nap. Let my husband tell it, I don't sleep at all. So, but I do take little naps here and there and get the rest that I feel that I need. I'm one of those people that try to use all of their time to the fullest. Now I realize that, and COVID taught me, listen to your body, sit yourself down, lay yourself down, rest, sleep. Turn the music off, turn everything off, and just sleep. Let your body get that R&R that it needs. So I've definitely been doing that, and to the point where I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things I want to do, I could do, I'm thinking about, and laying up in this bed, can't move, going to the bathroom, getting back in the bed. That was tough for me, but it did humble me a lot. And my heart go out to everyone that is battling something right now. If it's health reason, if it's anxiety and depression, if it's just tired, just exhaustion, whatever it is, my heart go out to you. I hope you get the rest that you need, so you will be able to come back better than ever. I always say my biggest competition, or my only competition, is myself. I really don't pay attention to what other people do, or try to mirror what the Joneses are doing, because I feel like me yesterday is my toughest competition. So that's what I'm always focused on what I need to do. And I guess with me being a Leo, I really focus on what I'm doing. I don't have time, I don't have the energy to really focus on what other people are trying to do. Now, if they're reaching out to me and ask me for assistance or something like that, I don't mind doing that. But really, my day-to-day, my 9 to 5, my business, my effort stays really on me and my family. And all the things I'm trying to do, because no one is going to cover you. No one is going to love you. No one is going to give you what you need better than what you can. And that was something that I had to learn along the way on this journey. I was always pouring into other people, giving, sharing, and there was no one really there pouring into me. So there got a point in my life where I hit rock bottom, and I was needing that someone to pour into me or help me or inspire me or whatnot, and there was no one there. It taught me, Nathaniel, only person that can save you is you. It was a hard lesson for me to learn, but I learned it. And as I learned that lesson, I always make sure that I control my time and the things that I do and the people I pour into, the causes that I get involved in, all of that, because I see there's a lot of brokenness around us, around me, and I had to learn to pray to God to give me the strength to understand that, number one, I am not Jesus Christ. I can't save anyone. Only person I can save is me. Now I can encourage and uplift, and even in that, I pray to God to give me the strength of discernment so I would know, by gut checks, by him whispering in my ear from a lot of time in meditation and praying, you can't save, you can't help everybody. And that was hard for me because I'm still a caring person. I really do love people, but I had to understand sometimes being broken is where you need to be. Because if you don't have that brokenness, there's no healing. If you don't have that war, there's no peace. If you don't have the winter, you don't understand and enjoy the spring and the summer. So I had to understand it, Nathaniel. Even in my life, I had to understand there's a give and take. There's a yin and yang. Things happen for a reason. You may not know what that reason was. And that was my hardest thing. I always wanted to know why. I was one of those kids. Growing up as a child, I was a very shy child. But I always asked to myself, and I asked to my mom, because my mom would tell you real quick. I grew up in the in a phase where when you was a child, you acted as a child. When you got out of your place, you got something in your mouth. And my mom was quick to slap the taste out your mouth. So I had to learn real quick, shut up, keep your mouth closed. And things that I use to this day, there's a time to speak and there's a time to listen. So I was always wanting to know why. Why is this dog is on the side of the road? Why is this person who apparently looks like to be appears to be a drunk is walking down the road by themselves? I always wanted to know why. I was always the one bringing home pets. My mom used to have a fit. If I saw something that was broken, my granddad too used to have a fit. They would tell me my name. My full name, well, previous was Nathaniel Thomas Jr. So they called me Junior. Junior, you gotta stop bringing things home. Stop it. We can't fix everything. You can't fix everything. It is not your place to do it. Know your place. So that was something I had to learn growing up. And I thank God because he's still working that out in me, with me. And I had to learn that it's okay to be broken. It's okay to have to go through the process and doing the work to put yourself back together again. And there's nothing wrong with broken. I was always the person who, if somebody broke a glass, I was the person on my hands and knees trying to pick up all the pieces so it wouldn't hurt anybody. But I had to learn that it wasn't my place to do that. It wasn't my place. That brokenness happened for a reason. There was a cause and effect that happened. Someone had the glass, someone, it slipped off their hands or they got clumsy, whatever the reason was. It wasn't your glass to pick up. Allow that person that broke that glass to pick that glass up. There's a process, there's a learning, there's a work that had to be done for that person to understand you can't walk around breaking glasses. It's gonna be very expensive. So, as I'm going through all of this, and I'm bringing this up now because in my life, in all of our lives, there's some brokenness that is happening. There's some brokenness that has occurred. And it's time for us to start mending those things, doing the work. And you're going to hear me say, hear me keep saying doing the work. There's no pill that we can take that will fix the trauma that happened in our life. There's no pill that we can take for the feeling of abandonedness. There's no feelings that you can take for someone cheating, lying, stealing, taking from you, wasting your time, breaking your heart, stealing your money, whatever happened to you in your life. There's time for us to start mending these broken hearts. Because what we're doing is we're taking all of this hurt around with us. It made me think about this song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady. We're carrying these bags with all of this hurt, all of this pain, all of this deceit, all of this victim, I just been done so wrong. Or you know something? I'm mad at the world because things have not turned out the way that I expected to do. So we're carrying all of this hurt. And what we're realizing, what we're seeing is we're bringing these in our current relationships. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody want to be around somebody that's damaged. Yes, I said we're all damaged to some point. We all have to decide. When I was dating, even I use this even to this day. I make a list of pros and cons for everything that I do. If that cons outweigh the pros, I'm not gonna fool with it, because I have to go back to, like I said, I am a person who would try to fix something and make it work. Doing that over and over and over again, it depletes you. It takes time from the work that you need to do for yourself. So I started cutting my costs. I was like, you know something? This over here, it's gonna need Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. And there ain't nothing I can do for it. Let it go. Let Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit work on it. things that I could work on and help and fix by using my gifts that I have. Like we all have gifts. You need to spend time and find out what your gifts are so you will learn how to operate on this earth instead of just using this space to take up air. If I can help something, I would do it. But I am not your financer. I'm not your God. I'm not your Savior. There's limits on what I could do. And if you're not willing to take that, what I'm giving you, and do something with it, not only you're wasting your time, you're wasting mine as well. So I would cut it very quickly and move on. Because at the end of the day, my life on this earth is my life on this earth. It is not me trying to go around and save every person on the face of this earth. Because some of us are where we are for a reason. Let me say that again. Some of us are where we are for a reason. And let me tell you something, my friend. Something that I had to realize that was tough, that was hard for me to realize. And that was, it wasn't anybody else's fault. It wasn't. Now, did bad people do things to me? Absolutely. Are they still trying to do things to me? Absolutely. I have to look back and think back, okay, there's something called the Bible. In those 60-something books, it talks about people going through a lot. Especially our Lord Jesus Christ went through a lot. So that let me know that my life on this earth, there's going to be some hard times. There's going to be some hard times. And I got to prepare myself for that as much as I can. There's going to be some good times. But I'm not going to walk this earth unscathed, untouched, undumped on, unused, unlied upon. It is going to happen. It is called being alive, being on this earth. Okay? People are going to say good and bad things about you. I had to learn. It's not what they say and what they do. It's how I receive it. It's how I process it. It's how I internalize it. It's how I listen to it. It's how I allow what they said about me to me and what they did to me affect my everyday life. And let me tell you something, y'all. I spent a lot of time on this, working on this. When I say personally as well as, going to counseling. And I figured something out. There's a lot of us living our life where we have allowed people to imprint things on our spirit, soul, mind, heart. They're no longer around. They're even dead. But they are still affecting us today, right now, at this moment. And I realized I didn't like that. That bothered me. That pissed me off. I didn't want to give people any room to affect who I am, what I'm trying to do, how I want my legacy to be on this earth. So I made sure I started making sure that I started casting those things out, those thoughts. So when somebody come up to me, "Oh, Nathaniel, you look good today." Thank you. I received that. Thank you. But me being me, my mom always taught me to put my best foot forward. It did not matter if I had 5 outfits in my closet. Make sure those 5 outfits are your best outfit. Make sure when you're stepping outside, you put your best foot forward. My mom used to say, you're not going anywhere embarrassing me. I am still your mother. I raised you. I raised you to take care of what you have. Even if it's those 5 outfits you represent. And not only about the outward appearance, make sure you're projecting something that is positive. Someone smile, smile back. Someone nod, nod back. Someone don't speak. Keep moving. So those are the things that I was taught. So when people come up and say, "Oh, you look good," or "Oh, you know something, you don't look like yourself," I really don't let those things get to me because I know who I am. I know you can either add or you can take away. But it's up to me to allow that to happen. And if I don't allow that to happen, if I don't allow people to get into my head, get through my ears, get in my head, get me to thinking, get me to, oh my God, I gotta trim down, I gotta tighten up, whatever. At the end of the day, only person that you can fix is the person that you see in the mirror. My husband, he say something, he say a lot of things to me, just so you can know. And just so you guys know, we have like conversations about everything. We are two very opinionated people, but we keep our opinions to ourselves and we share them back and forth. Now, if you ask us, you asked us, what do you think about this? We only speak on what we know. If we don't know about it, if we haven't experienced it, haven't gone through it or anything, we'll tell you real quick, I don't know about this subject. You may want to check it out yourself or ask someone else. I don't know about that. Excuse me. And I love that about us. But we're two very opinionated brown men with bald heads. So but we keep that to ourselves over our conversation over coffee and tea and all that stuff. So he said something that resonates with me all the time. He said, there's a lot of people that have like body image or lack of self-love. He said, something I had to do? He said, I had to sit down in the mirror naked and look at every spot that was on my body, every curve, every dent, everything that is on my body. And I had to examine it. And he said, I kept doing that until I stopped feeling ashamed at what I saw and what I felt and started embracing it and loving it. And I was like, Charles, I like that. I said, that's some good stuff. I said, I'm gonna steal that. Is that okay? He was like, yeah, Nate, take it. He was like, yeah, babe, take it. I was like, 'cause you right. I was like, I'm in the mirror all the time. Not because I'm just a Leo, but I'm in there talking to myself. Now, myself don't answer, but I definitely talk to myself. When I say I talk to myself, I'm encouraging myself like, hey, Nate, you looking good, boy. You looking good, King. Keep on taking care of yourself. Keep on taking care of yourself. Because if you don't get in your head and motivate yourself and keep yourself encouraged, this world will do everything to show you that you're not who you think you are. So you better know in your heart, in your gut, who you are, whose you are, and walk like that king or queen that God put you on this earth to do. Now, there's a difference between being comfortable and cocky. There's a difference. There's a difference. The big difference is confidence is being able to be humble. Because I'm going to tell you something about me. Doesn't matter where I go or who I'm with, I'm going to always carry myself as the man that my mom raised me to be. As the man that my grandfather told me to be. Taught me, showed me to be. And I'm not going to do anything that's going to bring shame to my family. Even though I'm 45 years old, outgrown, you see these nails. I just got them done, by the way. My Cowboys colors. So that's another conversation for another day. Yes, always will be a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. It's not about winning or losing. I am a fan. I've been a fan since I was five years old. That was the team I remember seeing on TV, the blue and gray and silver. Well, blue, gray, silver, and white. And that's my team, okay? So, side note. Okay. But I always wanted to make sure that I am doing things that when I look back online or in the community, I don't have to cover my eyes and be like, Lord, what was I thinking today? Or Lord, did I have too many drinks? Lord, did I get a hold of some drugs? Or I didn't want to be embarrassed. And I always, at 45 years old, I am a husband. I am a son. I am a brother. I am an uncle. I am a leader. I don't want to bring shame to anybody. I look at some of the things that are happening today, and I was like, do people have any moral? I mean, any backbone? Do people think about the consequences of the things that they do? I was like, what in the heck? I was like, oh my gosh. It seems like now it's like, who could be the biggest fool? If I show my butthole, you gonna go and show your butthole and your whole family buttholes. It's like, who can be the biggest fool? That was a crazy example, but it's happening. Just really. So, I know that when it comes to doing work, it's easy for us to say, let me go to the gym, or let me go see a doctor about getting this removed. We're quick to do that. But I get tired of listening to the news or opening my cell phone, and first thing I see is a black man with mental health issues being treated for mental health issues, killed his whole family and killed himself. I'm tired of hearing that. Or some young black celebrity or guy at 21, 19 years old end his life and shared a story over social media on why he did it. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of us running away from the one person that needs all of us, and that's ourselves. We would go to social media, we would go to our lover, our spouse, our boo thing, our mom, our dad, and expect somebody else to fix us when we are not courageous enough to do the work to fix ourselves. I'm going to tell you, it is not going to be an easy fix. As I've shared with you, it took years, 20, 30 years of me getting to where I am today. But let me tell you something. It was worth it. The person I am today could have a conversation with anybody, as you see. Feel comfortable having a conversation with the current president, first lady. Feel confident to be in country part of Georgia, out raking leaves or riding on a mower. Comfortable enough to be in the hoodest of the hoodest and the most echelon places in this world and still be Nathaniel. I'm still going to tell you what I think, if you ask me. I'm still going to show up, still going to look good, still going to smell good. But the point I'm making is, I would not be able to do that and to do what I'm doing today if I did not take the time to realize that I was hurt. There's some brokenness in me. I remember when I started going to counseling, I remember telling a couple of counselors, I'm a hot mess.com. And at one point I told a counselor, I'm a hot shitty mess.com. Because they would ask me, how are you feeling today? You don't ask me that. Because I'm that person going to tell you how I'm really feeling. Oh, I'm good. I'm a hot shitty mess.com today. That's just how I feel. And they were just blown by surprise, just surprised. But I was telling how I was feeling at the time. Or I would tell them I'm feeling wrong. Or I would tell them that I'm mad at the world, or I'm mad at myself, or I'm tired of feeling the way that I'm feeling, or feeling like I'm trapped inside of my own body, or felt like I was watching my life happening, but I couldn't do anything about it. Like a supporting role. And then as I started becoming better and started talking and working through those issues and, going through the feelings of why I was hurting. Because as I said, everything is a cause and effect. I learned that and started working through that stuff and coming back and showing up and doing the work. Because therapy for me, it wasn't that I just went there and talked. laid on the sofa, laid on the couch, sat up in the chair like this and just talked. I had to do work. There had to be follow up to what I was doing. There was conversations I had to have with myself in a mirror many times. There was letters I had to write to people who hurt me or wronged me, or things I had to get off my chest. I had to write it out and read that out loud and destroy the letter. There was conversations I had to have with people who were still alive. That was here, where instances where I wasn't able to articulate what was going on with me or what they did to me or how I felt about the situation. But when I got older and discovered my voice, I was able to say those things and get those things off my chest. Because let me tell you something, people. If you don't get those things off your chest and deal with that stuff, it's in your head, it's in your heart, it's in your soul. It's like having a cage, a bird cage, and it can be a parrot cage, big cage tall as me. I'm 6 feet. I've seen some bird cages from parrots, and I love parrots. But by the way, one day I want to get one, and I know they live a long time. Just like I have small dogs and they live a long time. But the point I'm making is I love birds. Like macaws, Amazon grays, the big ones. So I've seen those huge cages that are like 6 feet and as long as my arm span. But if you allow those feelings, those hurt, that trauma, all of that to be in that bird cage, at some point, that cage is going to get filled. Because what ends up happening is that you that was broken, that was hurt back then, is still there. That person hasn't gone away. I had to go back and heal that younger Nathaniel. I had to go back and tell him it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. But I'm going to help you through this. Now that I have the tools, we're going to work through this together. We're going to get through this. Because if not, I would have stayed in that same traumatic state at that time. And I would have been a 45-year-old man, body-wise, looking at me. But I was still in that trauma that happened to me when I was molested as a child, repeatedly. Or when I was raped at 21 years old. Or when I went through relationships not knowing what I was doing. Not ready, not equipped, but just going through relationships. Or feeling victimized or feeling abandoned by my dad. Because I love my dad. My dad didn't raise me. My mom and my grandfather raised me. But I had his name. Nathaniel Thomas Jr. I was junior, he was senior. And to have your father go off and raise a whole other set of family, not one family, multiple families, and you are still here carrying his same name. You look in the mirror, you see him, and you walk by, you like, Dad, but you're looking at yourself. So I had to work through all of that stuff, guys. That stuff did not just go away just because I took a good Tylenol PM and went to bed and woke up and I was fresh as a daisy and all those problems were gone. I had to work through all of that stuff. And be honest with you, I'm still working through it. It doesn't affect me like it used to. I used to cry. I didn't talk about it. So the fact that I'm talking about it to you guys shows growth. And I thank God for that. Because I learned through all of those things, any one of those things, I could have said, you know something, this is too much for me and took my life. But something gave me the strength to stay here and work it out and see what it's like on the other side. Me and my dad, we have a relationship now. We talk as men, as two men that have blood together. And we're still working out. He's open to getting to know me. I'm open to getting to know him. But it's still a process that has to go. We can't change what happened in the past. We can't. I forgave him. I love him. He's part of the reason why I'm here. If him and my mom didn't have enough love in their heart for each other, I wouldn't have been here. I give him that grace. And something I had to learn that I'm still working on now, and I'm getting a little emotional. So excuse me, is that even in that conversation, even in that situation, I had a choice to make. I could continue hating my father, hating that I didn't get to know him that way, or he didn't get to know me in that way. Or I could say, you know something? My dad is still here. He may not be my father, but my dad is still here. And I'm going to use this time that we have left on letting him know, hey, I just wanted to hear your voice. And he was like, son, I'm glad to hear your voice as well. I had to understand, I had to pray to God to give me enough grace and to be able to make it through all of this. Enough grace. And the funny thing about grace is, if it worked for you, you have to allow yourself to be able to give it to someone else. Now, the tricky part about that is, the grace that you're giving that person is not giving them the okay that the shit that they did to you is good. And we're going to fall right back in place, and we're going to be better than what we were ever going to be. That is not what you're saying by giving them that grace. That grace is allowing you not to have any blockage in your heart, in your soul, towards somebody that wronged you. Because that person is the person that hurt you, not the other way around. There's a debt that needs to be paid and collected from them to you, to allow them to be able to move on as well. They owe you. But in them owing you, you got to keep that bitterness out of your heart. Because as long as that bitterness is in your heart, that transaction still stands the way that it was. They hurt you, you mad, you haven't forgave them. Even if you forgive them, you still have that bitterness there. There's a transaction that is still occurring. A lot of us have to learn that as long as those transactions are still held in that way, that is still a negative or brokenness that is going to happen and be there in you. When you let that transaction go, like when I'm using my father as an example, because that's still something I'm working through now. I'm still emotional about that because it's hard. It's very hard to keep that grace there. Because you still in the back of your mind, in the back of your heart have like, this motherfucker hurt me. I'm keeping it real with you guys. This motherfucker hurt me. But I chose to focus on the fact that we're both still here in good health. My phone still works, his phone still works. I'm allowing him to keep that relationship with me because I'm looking at the better that could happen in the future. I'm not saying that we're going to be sitting there, I would know all of his life story. He would know all of my life story. I don't know. But I'm optimistic to what could happen in the future. I don't know what God has for us, for me and my father. Excuse me, my dad. But I look forward to seeing him. I look forward to hearing his voice. But still, I'm not judging him for what happened in the past. I let it go. Because if I did not let it go, I will still have that brokenness hanging on in my heart. I will still have that transaction pulling on me. And it would affect my future relationships. It will affect my relationship with my husband, my mom, the people who have not hurt me. That's what we got to understand. Dragging those bags, dragging that brokenness, dragging that hurt from somebody else is going to affect you in other places in your life. And I didn't want that. I did not want that. Do not want that. because that transaction to me has been paid and forgiven and done and moved on. That grace thing is what's hard for me and what I'm still working through right now. The grace to say, you know something, the old me would have roasted him. Every chance I got would have roasted him. If he said, hey, what you saying hey to me for? You have 45 years and 9 months to say hey to me. And there's some other things that have happened that I'm not mentioning, because there's some things I keep to myself in that sense that happened between me and my dad. But I tell you one thing, I'm the only person that looks like him. He's the lighter version of me. Believe it or not, you put us together, we look like twins. I'm the only one that has that name. Well, that had that name until I got married and it changed. But we still are a work in progress. I'm proud of him. I really am. And for me to say, for a child to say they're proud of their parent is okay. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him because he's making strides to have a relationship with me now that I'm here and we're not that far away from each other. I'm proud of him. And as long as you're willing, I'm willing. When you stop being willing, I stop being willing. Like I told you guys, I go by energy. If your energy is not right with me or around me, or if I feel any like I don't do it. I tell you, you know something? I need to take time to deal with me, because dealing with this is a lot. Because I'm my mama's child. My mama is the type of person, you would never walk away and say, I wonder if she likes me. She will let you know. And then some. I have to get on her sometimes. I'm like, Mom, just, you're a little raw. You're a little raw. You need to put some chaser in that. Please put some chaser in that drink, because you going a little raw. You going a little hard. This is not the heavyweight championship of the world. Just please, everybody is not tough like you are. And that was something else I had to learn. But I would definitely say the hardest lesson, grace and patience. Now, them two, I'm working on it. And this is what I tell myself, so you guys will know. The same grace and mercy and patience that God gave me, I can't receive something from the Creator and don't think that I'm not going to have to show it to the people I come in contact with. I have to. And it's the hardest thing for me, and I'm working on it. And I'm sure some of you guys are working on it too. Grace, mercy, and patience. Whew. Whew. Y'all just don't know how hard it is, but I'm working through it. I'm getting better. I am definitely getting better. Like I told you, I have things I'm working through as well. I have things that I'm working through well. And those are the top 3 that I'm working through right now. And something else, like I was saying, understanding, like I shared to my mom, everybody is not going to be tough like you. Everybody is not going to be a survivor like you. Everybody is not going to be a victim like you have been, I have been. But we all need that same grace, mercy, and patience. We all do. And saying yes to having a relationship with my dad was saying yes to, I want our relationship to continue. Not the way it was in the past, but I'm allowing you to have access to me so we can have a different kind of relationship together. You respect me as a man, I respect you as a man. I don't call you out your name, you don't call me out my name. You don't stand me up when we ask to set something up, and I don't stand you up. If you 50-50, I'm 50-50. When you get to the point where you're not able to do something, please let me know. Articulate that to me. Because that was a part of our relationship in the past that was a problem. There was no communication. And I'm big on communication. And he knows that now. And I was like, I'm going with you, man. I'm going with you, Dad. I'm going to need that in return. And he was like, okay, I got you. He's like, I can do it. And that's any relationship. I'm using this relationship because this is something that I'm currently working on. And I want to be fully transparent with you guys. Because we all have somebody in our life that we need to work through something with. And something else I will say, you got to meet that person where they are. You got to meet that person where they are. I may be all the way over here. He may be right here. If I want to have a relationship with him, if I want to move forward from what we went through in the past and not allow that past to solidify what did not work, that brokenness, I had to meet him for where he is. Both my parents are 67 years old. I'm 45. Number one is it's a grace of God that they're both still here. Do they have health problems? Do I have health problems? Yes. The fact is that we're here is making me want to say, you know something? Let's try to spend some time together and do some talking and get to know each other. I can't think back to what I knew in the past. I got to look at where he is right now. I want him to look at me for where I am right now. Yeah, with the nails and all, where I am right now. And we move forward from there. But I will tell you something. If I did not do that work that needed to be done, I wouldn't be here with him. I would not. I'm being honest with you guys. I would not. There was too much water that was under the bridge. But when you become a new creature in Christ, old things are put away. Them old habits, old people you hang around, that old shame, and that was my thing. I had a lot of shame that I had to get over, that I had to work through, that I had to not allow my past to hold me to, for me to get to where I am today. Because I tell you real quick, baby, last time I checked, it was over. Now this is my southern definitely coming up. 7 million people on this earth. And you not gonna tell me that there's somebody walking sin free on this earth. Meaning we've all made mistakes. We've all done things in secret or in front of everybody. But we cannot allow that shame to hold us to it. We cannot allow that sin to keep us closed away from God. We have to want to let it go. We have to want to be a better creature, a better human being, a better person. Forgive yourself. Ask God for forgiveness and move on. Because that sin, that shame will hold you till they can't hold you anymore. And then with that sin comes something else. So you have to be willing to dig deep in yourself and do that work. As I've always said to you guys, those who are listening, you are not alone in what you're going through. We are all fighting a battle. I'm saying a battle, and when I say a battle, your life battle. And we all are taking it for the team. There are days when I don't feel like it. But I have some amazing resources around me. Like when I was sick, people that was, well, I'm not gonna say people, I can count them on one hand. Because as you get older, some of you gonna get this. You realize you don't need a lot of people in your corner. You realize that There are some relationships that should have been cut off a long time ago, but you held on to it because you felt like you needed to have somebody there. Now, my crazy self, as I said, if you're not pouring into me, you're not around. Because I want only the best around me. When I say the best, people that understand that they are a sinner, they are flawed, they have made mistakes. They're trying to put their life back together, have put their life back together. They are a work in progress. They are a mirror, a painting that is moving every day. They're not stagnant. They're not sitting there crying over something that happened to them 35 years ago. They're trying to get better. They're trying to recover. We're all are an addict to something. We're all are recovering from something. Either you're recovering from it or you're still in it. So we all have an addiction to something. And we have to figure out what that addiction is and how long we have had it. Why are we into it? What is the root of that addiction? Because the drinking, the sex, the lying on people, the being the backstabber, the not being able to keep a job, the not being able to keep a relationship, not being able to pay your car payments and your bills on time, not being a good father, a good parent, not being just a good person. All of that stems from somewhere. Some brokenness, some trauma, something happened to you, something you were lacking, something you needed as a child, when you were small, when you was a teenager, when you was a young person in high school or college. Go back and do the work. But counseling will help you go and sit down, get in a safe, clean environment where you can talk about it. Put your cell phone down, put your ego down, put your degrees down, put your $350,000 house down, because you still got to make that payment. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, don't care who makes that payment. No, that payment is made because you had to have that $350,000 house. The point I'm making is we need to check all that stuff at the door and be ready to sit our behinds down on somebody's couch or sofa and be willing to do this work for yourself. Because I can't save you. Only person I know in the saving life business is Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit. Them three, they were keeping me here. Because if I was still the same person I was, I wouldn't be here today. I'm just going to say that. I wouldn't be here. Because it was that grace, that mercy, and that patience that kept me here. Really is. There's a part, you guys see my face, there's a part of my head back here where when you open my medical file, you will be like, he should have been dead. But by grace, yet by grace, God kept me here. So you understand, I hope now, why I go so hard, why I'm able to say what I'm saying with conviction. Because when you have gone in rooms and been at the finest doctors, and you literally have medical teams, not one time that happened to me. It happened twice. You had the chief doctors and his team trying to figure out what is going on with you. Why are you here? Why are you breathing? Why are you smiling? Why are you sitting here looking at us when you should be dead? It makes you, it humbles you, because of 7 million people, God still felt enough love for me to keep me here. And in doing so, I said, if I can let anybody know that there's nothing too hard for God, that there's no situation, that there's nowhere that he cannot go where he cannot save you and help you and make you a better person. Allow you to look in your life and say, I've been touched, yet by grace, and still be here and live your best authentic life. Your life on this earth was just nothing but taking up air. Really. God has been too good to me for not for me to share. Too good to me to not to tell people that there's nothing he won't do to help you, save you, for you to be able to live a better life on this earth. Nothing. But you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work. We have to be willing to do the work. Like I told you, every day is a struggle. Every day. But as long as I live this earth, I have the tools now to know how to fight, to know how to stand, to know where my help comes from, to know that if I sit here and feed this negativity, if I sit here and feed this what happened to me in the past, it's going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. And I can't be mad at anybody for that. Or if I sit over here and say the same grace and mercy and patience that kept you and maintain you to be here, you got to be willing to show that to people and allow people to see it. And allow people to know that even though you're going through, even though you're broken, you're still loved by the Creator. And you got to get to that place where you're loving yourself. Sitting in that mirror, talking to yourself. Sitting in that mirror, loving yourself. Writing in your journal. Being around people that encourage and uplift you. Going to places that bring you joy. Sitting there reading those affirmations. Getting on that prayer word, praying. Or that place that you have made in your house to be able to pray. And wait for God. Listen to God. Read those 60-something books, 66 books. Get out and visit people. Get out of your own way. Find you a good therapist. I've shared that I have this pastor that I met on my journey when I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and he and his wife are right here in my heart to this day. They loved me when I was not able fully to love myself and take care of myself and do for myself through my recovery. That's been about 4 or 5 years ago. And we're still in contact to this day. They're always sending me encouraging messages, reaching out to me, checking in on me, and I'm doing the same thing for them because I remember those who fed me when I wasn't able to feed myself, who clothed me when I was not able to clothe myself, that gave me roof over my head when I didn't have it. That's grace. That is grace. That is God's grace. And some of us wonder why our lives feels like you sitting on the toilet waiting to crap. When was the last time you showed somebody a little bit of grace? A little bit of mercy? A little bit of patience? Because as you start working those muscles for others and helping others, God started watching it and working it out for you. That's something I noticed. If you want to stop feeling sorry for yourself, go do some volunteering. When was the last time you put together some socks, toothpaste, toothbrush, floss, body wash project, little toiletry bag stuff. Gathered that and took her to a homeless shelter. We are so focused on ourselves in the way that we're worshiping ourselves, but we're not doing anything to fix ourselves. Let me say that again. We're so focused on mine, and me. But when you sit down and talk to you, you are the most negative, damaged victim, no sense of reality, no sense of anyone else around you, just not overall, to me, a good individual. Because how could a man or a woman put themselves up on a pedestal when they have not done the work that they need to do to be a better human being? You guys think about that. I know you got some people in your life, you may be that person. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I got this, I'm good, I'm ballin', I'm Gucci, I'm all right, can't nobody touch me. If you're gonna be with me, you need to be able to get 10 things on the list. You need to be 10 out of 15 things, you need to be 10 out of the 10 out of 10 things on my list. Baby, you ain't even 10 out of the 10 things on your list. But you want somebody else to be everything that you're not. Because as you are going about your life, one thing I have learned, when you're going about your life fixing and recovering and making yourself better, helping yourself to be a better individual. When I say better, people want to be around you. You are a light to the world. And you can't choose when you want your light to dim, or shine and not shine. It's your aura. It's what you're giving out. It's what what you're doing in the universe, and the universe is attracted to light. People who are not like you are going to come up to you. But what are you doing? What are you doing? Excuse me. I'm asking you the same question I had to ask myself. Nathaniel, what are you doing? How could you did you make that situation better? Or did you make a decision not to be a part of that or deal with it for whatever reason? And what is the reason? What did you learn from that? My thing was, I asked why on a lot of things, but I also asked myself, what did I get out of this? Because if I don't ask myself those questions, I'm going to go right back and do it again. Or have somebody similar like this person around me, when I know they were not there to help me or was not there for my good. They were some vultures that I put in my life. Yeah, some of us have a lot of vultures that are in our lives. And the only thing vultures do is eat meat and destroy, kill and destroy. It's up to you who you put in your life, who you allow in your life. I hear people say this a lot. People in my life hurt me. Nobody who is in my life is helping me. No one understands me. You allow those people to be in your life. You have to change your surroundings. You have to get by yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, this healing and this work that I'm talking about, this stuff going to have to be on you. It's on us. Ain't nobody else going to be able to help you unless a good therapist. Or like I said, find you someone, a mentor. There's so much stuff going on in the church today. I'm just going to leave it at that. You draw what you want to draw from that. My mom always kept us around. Growing up, we were always the preachers and the first lady right hand. We got close to preachers. Preachers being in and out my house growing up as a child was normal. I mean, I feel very comfortable around preachers and first ladies and stuff like that. I've learned a lot. So having someone like that in my life is really good. I'm thankful for that. With so much going on today, I prayed for that. I wanted that because I remember seeing them in our house and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it and I learned a lot, not just spiritual things, just about life, period. About church as a spiritual as a spiritual building, and church as a business. Two totally separate things, and how people who are in the church should live and conduct themselves and stuff, not like the people that are in the world. All of that stuff I learned, growing up, and I still carry myself to that to this day. Because I could have been somebody that had an OnlyFans page. I can go start me one, but that's not me. I'm not knocking anyone that does that, but like I said, I carry myself in a different way. I'm not saying I'm better than them. I'm just saying I decide to work and use my skills to get my job and do what I do. You have another way of doing things. That's just your way of doing what you do. I don't knock it. My thing is, whatever you have to do to take care of yourself, you do that. Just make sure you're not over here trying to take from me and my change. Because when I get my paycheck, it got one name on it, mine. And I'm not sharing that. Okay? So, the point I'm making is, I hope you guys find someone that you can be raw with. When I say raw, I'm talking about allow all of your emotions, put your guards down, share what is going on in your life. Be honest. You have to be honest. You can't try to do the work and lie at the same time. If you know something like I shared with you what happened to me, I can't sit here and say, well, I think something happened to me. That was me when I was young and I didn't know the words or have the words to say what happened to me. As I got older, I had learned the vocabulary. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to say to somebody, touch me here. And it happened repeatedly. And nothing was done about it because through shame, I didn't say anything. That person had me wrapped up where I was scared to talk. I didn't mean a word to anybody until I got older and I went through therapy and I started just understanding why I had a sexual block, or I didn't feel like I could express myself, or when somebody touched me, I would, or like touch me and hold me like that, I wasn't good with emotions and all that stuff. And that came from the trauma that I went from. As I told you earlier, things that happen to our life in those formative years start affecting you now. You don't know why you get angry real quick. You don't know. Because something happened to you. All of us, my upbringing, my mom and my granddad did the best they could raising me. The best they could. Was it dysfunctional? Yes. My mom was in survival mode. Single mom raising 4 kids by herself in Middle Alabama with a high school diploma. But glory be to God, she did it. I'm not going to sit there and put blame on her. You didn't do this, this, and this for me. You did the best you could, and I thank you for that, girl. Because I don't know how you did it with Republicans in office. Yeah, when I was growing up, Republicans was in office. We ain't get no Democrat to them later years. I'm showing my age, though. But them later years. But there was Republicans in office. When I was born, the year I was born, I think Jimmy Carter was the Democratic president that we had at the time. But baby, after that, y'all know, it was split Republicans. And trying to raise a family during that time was hard. Just like it's hard trying to raise a family now. My heart go out to all the parents, mom and dad that are raising kids today. My heart and my prayers go out to you guys. I commend you guys for what you're doing on a daily basis, and I know it's hard. I couldn't imagine trying to raise a child with all this social media going on and all these other influences and things, and people can be on your child phone sitting there molesting them, and you don't even know it. Asking them to share their pics, have conversations with them. All of that stuff can happen now. But growing up in my time, they had a little bit more control. It did still happen to me, but like I said, it happened from a family member. I got therapy, I moved on. The person is dead now. But it took me to do the work. It took me getting help to do that. Now my mom, I will give it to my mom. She had me in counseling when I was young. I remember bits and parts of it. But I remember I pretty much, like I said, 30-something years, actually almost 40 years of counseling. And It has really helped me. My mom pushed me a lot and tell me, you need to be a therapist. And I'm laughing about it because I do enjoy. I do enjoy the fact that people feel comfortable with me to share the things that have gone on in their life. And that's what impedes me to be able to be comfortable sharing what's going on, what has happened to me in my life. And if it can help somebody, amazing. But if we don't speak up, tell the truth, work through it, it's gonna still be there. All of those feathers, all of those problems, all of those hurt issues in that cage. And like I said, it get to the point where it starts going between the gaps and just spilling on the floor, or attacking other people that come around you, or just making your aura just dark. Just dark. And you don't understand why people look at you as a mean person, or somebody that's very pessimistic on everything. It's due to the things that you have gone through, and you haven't done the work to get freed from that stuff and broken those transactions and paid those transactions off so you can be able to move on and live your life as light as ever. Now, don't get me wrong. We all gonna have some issues. Now, I'm not the best person. Charles will tell you. I have my issues. I have my issues. But when he met me, and the fact that he's still here, he feels a need that he can work through those issues with me, or they're not too bad. Where he feels like he go to bed and I got 30 beer bottles or wine bottles laying around because I was up trying to self-medicate and drink my pain away. Or I'm not sitting up here taking every drug from A to Z. Yeah, that is drugs from A to Z. Prescription or off on street market. Or I'm not sitting here just trying to mask the pain and the hurt. So when we do meet somebody, or we are in relationships, you're not dealing with old stuff, dead stuff, decayed stuff, old crap. But some of us love to sit there and play with that. We do, because it comforts us. That codependency, it comforts us to sit here and pick at the old scabs, that old brokenness, that old hurt, that first boyfriend that you had or girlfriend that you had that just damaged you, that person that took your virginity and made you feel some kind of way, the first girl that ghosted you, whatever. Some of us take comfort in that, and that's not good. That's actually a part of just, when you sit there and fester in something long enough, it's not good. It's not good. It gets to the point where it's in your pores, it's in your nails, it's in your smile, it's in your eyes, it's in your heart. Then when you see people that come around you and they just by, because they see that, they feel that, they smell that energy is not right. And then you start, that sin just start multiplying on you. It just start multiplying on you. Well, guys, I will tell you, it has been good talking to you guys. I told you, my last video, I was going to get you guys. When I said get you guys, I was going to be back. I'm proud of myself because you guys don't know. Being asthmatic, having diabetes, bad allergies and asthma, COVID really did a number on me. And even my breathing, you probably noticed that the breathing is shadowed some throughout. My words have more emphasis than others. I'm still in recovery. I'm still recovering, people. So just keep that in the note. Please take care of yourself. Wear your mask. I know they're hard, but let me tell you something. I would rather be fighting to breathe through a mask than to be sitting here trying to fight and breathe in a hospital with them having to give me oxygen. Now, I will tell you, I did have to do some breathing treatment. I do have at-home breathing treatments that I had to do a couple times. But let me tell you something. It's a process. It is a process. It affects everybody differently. No one is exempt for this. It's going to knock on all of our doors at some point in time. And you understand, I do this for a living. This is what I do for a living. Talking about COVID and walking people through the process. of what they need to do, what they need to know, and all that, and reporting. I have to do the reporting part of it. I have to do the tracing part of it. So, and it is a lot. It has taken me virtually all over the world. So, I like that. I like talking to people and helping people through stuff. I don't like the fact that it's COVID. But we learn how to take what we have and move on. So guys, I hope you have gotten something. I hope and pray that you have gotten something out of this conversation. Please know it is from my heart. I am not a PhD. I am somebody that has gone through a lot. And like I said, by the grace of God, I'm still here. And I want to hear from you guys. I want you to hit me up in my inboxes. Blow them up, please. High five. Nathaniel, you talk long. Whatever it is, just let me know. I want to hear from you guys. And what's your location? Where are you listening to me from? I'm able to see how many viewers I have. I don't know you by face and name and all that, but you know, my analytics behind that. Like I said, I'm a numbers guy. So I know I have some great viewers, and I just want to once again thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you for loving on me from afar, because I do. I love and pray for you guys as much as I can, and I want us to live a life where when we lay on our deathbed, we're able to say, thank you, God. And tell your family you love them and transition. But I don't want us to live a life where we are just a part of something, but we never got to get what we needed to get out of it. If you don't mind, follow me on IG, Brown King, K-E-N, Guy. Spotify is Brown King, K-I-N-G, production. If you hit me up and you need to listen to all of the other podcasts, go on to YouTube. YouTube have all of them, Encouraging and Uplifting Men. Just type that in and you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to see my brown face, bald head, big lips. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. Know I love you. I hope you get to do all the things you want to do for 2023. And summing it up, people, let's be ready for change. I'm always ready for change. Change is good. There's some things that needs to stay the same, but change, if you ain't changing, you're not evolving. If you're not evolving, you're not getting better. If you're not getting better, you're just here wasting time. And don't nobody want to sit here and waste time when God has given us this life, this gift of life. And it's up to us to do what we want to do with it. I truly believe that. Thank you guys again. Be blessed, be a blessing, and enjoy your life, and let's live the best we got while we're here. Love you all. Take care.